Hi guys, Beer League back here with the second part in the series for our video guide for our Shockwave Cyclone Slayer in 3.17 Arch Nemesis. We're going to be taking a quick look at our passive tree as well as our Ascendancy Points and our Atlas tree really quickly. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. If you're curious about the gearing, go ahead and look back at part 1 of the video. So let's take a quick look here. Alright, so obviously we're going to start Duelist. For us, we are going to path down from our starting area through these strength nodes. The reason for that is it saves us a couple of points instead of going through the physical damage part section. We're going to go ahead and pick up Master of the Arena over to Art of the Gladiator, down to Destroyer. That'll be the first section of our tree. And then from here on, we are going to go ahead and continue down this pathway towards the Marauder area. For the initial leveling process, I would definitely recommend skipping this wheel and this wheel, as you're not necessarily going to need the accuracy straight away. You will most likely need versatility to pick up or to have the stat requirements early on, so go ahead and pick that up. You can pick up Born to Fight, fairly good modifier. You can pick up Butchery as well, and then you can go ahead and pick up Kinetic Impacts. From there, you're going to go ahead and path down to this section down here, which will probably be the biggest DPS boost for you early on. You'll pick up Bastion Breaker, you'll pick up Wrecking Ball. Go ahead and skip Dismembering for the leveling process until you come back. At that point, you're going to go ahead and head up this way in the tree. You're picking up Harpooner. I would go ahead and skip these nodes, and at that point, the tree is mostly done for the early leveling process. As you're leveling up and you're getting into the 80s and the 90s, excuse me, more like the 70s and the 80s, you're going to go ahead up here, you're going to go ahead and fill out the Smashing Strikes wheel. At first, you can go ahead and skip Whirling Barrier as well. It's simply a defensive node, so you can skip these bottom two nodes, and you can go ahead and start picking up your life. You can pick up Disembowering, you can go ahead and pick up Juggernaut, you can go ahead and pick up Barbarism, you can go ahead and pick up Bloodless, and now you can go ahead and pick up Dismembering as well to give yourself more critical strike. As soon as you're speccing into a weapon where you're doing critical damage, this is very strong. And then last but not least, you can go ahead and spec up here into the Constitution wheel. On the notable side of things, for Resistance and Ailment, we are picking up Elemental Resistance and Chaos Resistance. If you're able to meet elemental resistance requirements, go ahead and pick up Corrupted Blood Immunity, or Maimed and Hindered in parity. For our accuracy wheel here for Eagle Eye, we're taking Dexterity's accuracy bonus grants 3% accuracy per dexterity. There's two decisions here. That one or the Precision Mana Reservation Efficiency are both viable options for you. It depends on how much dex you have on gear, which one will be better. So go ahead and do the math for yourself. Both will help you get to 100% crit chance. For Champion of the Cause, we are also going to be picking up our 15 increased mana reservation efficiency of skills, very important. We're picking up 20% chance to impale on hit. We're picking up critical strike multiplier. We're picking up 40% increased damage. We're picking up increased life. We're picking up triple damage. And we're picking up reduced critical strike. We're picking up Dread Banner, increased mana reservation efficiency. And then we're picking up increased damage increased defense while wielding a staff. To be totally honest, none of these on the staff tree are all that great. So this can be a point that you can definitely decide to not pick up if you would like to go down that route. Let's talk about a couple of other options here. So for here, you can see I've specced into two different cluster jewels, one of them being Smite the Weak, Overlord, a weight advantage, the other medium jewel being Magnifier and Pressure Points. This is more of a later game setup because the jewels tend to be fairly expensive, especially the large jewel with Overlord. So with that being said, you can also pick up this cluster right here, Merciless Skewering, to get yourself to 100% impale. Very important to be at 100% impale. And then also too, there are a few other clusters worth mentioning on the tree. Assuming you would like to be a little bit more defensive, you can certainly pick up Soul of Steel And then you can also pick up more life modifiers on the tree as well. If you are an extremely high budget build, it may be worth taking the second cluster wheel here and dropping this section of the tree in order to get a little bit more DPS out of the build, although you do end up losing quite a bit of life, and you're going to be in the sub 5k range. For our Ascendancy, we're going to go ahead and pick up Bane of Legends into Headsman, into Brutal Fever, and then the last one will be Impact for us. You can also switch up Brutal Fever and Impact. The good thing is that this build is certainly capable of doing the 4th lab immediately when you get the maps, so there's no real huge issue there. You're not going to be without your 4th Ascendancy point very long. Very, very viable lab killing build. Outside of that, it's a fairly straightforward build process. Nothing too complicated on the tree to go over. We can quickly take a look at our Atlas tree as well. And this build honestly does not have a dedicated Atlas passive tree. I've tried just about every option there is out there, and they all work fine. Right now, been doing Delirium with Alvas and then also killing some bosses, so you see like a bunch of different mixed points in here. There's no real wrong way to build the Atlas passive tree. This has been something I've been having fun with recently. Feel free to do what works for you. This build is certainly capable of bossing. It's capable of doing everything under the sun, so feel free to spec into whatever you would like. But for this one, it's been fairly profitable as of recently. Been making, I'd say on average, about 4 or 5x an hour running Alvas and Deliriums and selling things off. It's been fairly profitable. Again, we've got Harbinger nodes here as well, and I did skip the Ominous Arrival, which provides an additional Harbinger because I did not have the points available to get down there. But I got some Strong Bots nodes in here, a couple of Harbinger nodes, some Boss nodes, and then the Delirium and Alva nodes. But feel free to spec into what you like. It will certainly work out for you. We're going to go ahead and end part 2 of the video here, and then we're going to come back and we will do part 3.